So we pulled back down into a value area low, got some buyer interest with some negative delta produced here at the bottom of this London area low. Are these buyers going to hold, or are we going to get some buyer absorption to the downside? I'm expecting a little bit of buyer absorption here. We have negative 1K in seller delta without real follow through. Are those buyers going to hold this range? This is a fair value gap area. We will see. We will see indeed. Let's go ahead and all right. ES has some levels here that they're defending at the 59.90 region, but there's a lot of resting liquidity. Is that going to be a defense zone? Are they going to sweep it? Let's go see what he also bouncing off these 6.4 volume point of control from June 4th. Let's go see what's going on. We got PPI in 45 minutes. PPI. Do we have any regions down below? We got a Monday low that we swept. We swept the Asian low and came back under it. Coming back to that Asia low area. They're going to defend this. Shout out to the one viewer. All right. So if we come back beneath these little buyers here at 765, 760, and 757, we could see some buyer absorption leading into the news. We're going to go sweep that Monday low again. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Got that resting order down below. Let's go. Another one at 5975. You see that character down there? We're going to go sweep this resting order here. That's ES. I use ES to telegraph because there's a lot more resting liquidity. NQ has some. There's a 70 order down here at, what is that? 21679. It's a pretty nice order that's been there since way back, basically all day. Yeah, they could be defending it here. Like, you know, it's all contextual. So if it goes below these guys, these inflection point guys here at 757, 760, and 765, right now they're defending it. So theoretically, they're in control until they're not. And so if you're looking for them to defend, then you can use them as defense. And if you're looking to fade them, then you can use them as, it's basically an inflection point. No one knows until it does it, but there's, if I pull back here on the charts, you'll see like it's color weighted. So there's more volume that was traded right here where we pulled back into. And there was some sellers on the way down that we hit, but we've punished them and came back and it's like punishing one side or the other. So currently some buyers got interested as we pulled back here. And so I'm just seeing, are these buyers genuine or are they going to get absorbed? If you're going to get absorbed, then where would it go? And if you're going to defend, where you're going to go? And then that's where the resting orders come in. We still got news in what, like 30 minutes? Yeah, 40 minutes. And then the hour close in 10. So theoretically, and then we're bouncing off this volume point of control from June 4th. And then there's June 5th, which held in London. Below that, you have June 3rd at 21677, and then you have a previous swing low at 635. So you have all these other key levels. We swept Monday's low with a wick, but are we going to go back and recover the wick first or what? Which I do. And I'm taking a theoretical short as soon as it fades this circle that I have circled. I'm looking to get this. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to, this sweep down here in this region on ES, and then I'll yeah. I'm looking for some buyer absorption. I am. Here's my screen. I'm up 34 ticks now. 40 ticks. I'm just waiting for it to like get to a certain level, and then the ATM strategy will automatically go break even. Up 50 ticks. At 77 ticks, it'll go break even. I just hit the button and let it do its thing based off the ATM so I don't get emotional about it, you know? Either it wins or, yeah, either it wins or it loses. And I set a parameter and then let the parameter play out. So theoretically, at that inflection point, it's now punishing those buyers. And so how far is it going to punish them? Is it going to go to the bottom low area? I'm frugal in my theory. So if it just goes to like 742, I'll be happy. Yeah. ES moves slower and then NQ moves more volatile. So there's like But I look at both. But I mean, I use ES to telegraph a move, like which side has more, and ES has more down here than it does up there. So I'm like, okay, well, if it sweeps this, then then I could look for a long, I guess. But it's like there's more easy pickings there than up here. So why not just go lower? And so I just took the short based off that buyer too. Like the buyer interest was also like theoretically provides fuel to the downside. So I'll take that buyer absorption fuel. So it's like it's like a tug of war where the thing you want to happen, like if you're a buyer, then the thing you're becoming a weight against your position. So the more buyers I see at a bottom, the less of a bottom it feels to me. It feels heavier. They're pulling down on their position. And then sellers, like you'll see more sellers at the bottom, ironically. It's weird. So like now there's 74 adding here. There's 55 and 74 adding here, which gives me more confidence because then they're like adding and then that's giving more weight because they can use that as fuel to pull into sell side more because they don't have to pay those guys because they know if it's a short that's closing, then well, good, they can keep going lower. And if it's a long that's entering, well, good, they can keep going lower. So it doesn't matter if it's a short closing from up top or a long buying thinking it's going to bounce. They don't have to pay these guys, so they can use it as fuel to drive it lower. And so you'll see it just tells me by the fact that it's blue that it's an aggressive buyer. And then so these 74 buyers and 56 buyers that added here are not in control because these guys aren't in control. So they're adding into a heavy weight. So yeah, it's giving me more confidence in the short because they basically yeah, at a true bottom you'll see a bunch of purple hit because that's the stop loss of these longs. Boom. So I just peeled one off, stop at break even, now up 90 ticks. And so now it's sweeping that little resting order on ES2. So it's like kind of like you're seeing this tandem with, you know, ES kind of telegraphing what they work off of hand in hand off one another. So even though there's like small resting orders here on NQ2, NQ can really do whatever it wants. So I don't use that as the theory. I use ES's thing, liquidity as the theory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So like there's more stat and how long it's been there. Like if it's recently added, like this 58 at 6,000 was recently added, that might not be static. So that might be somebody who just entered a short and then could stand to raise it like they're not hurting. But the longs that have been there a while that were in profit and are now aren't, they stand to hit their stop loss. So it's like Pac-Man, like which side of the liquidity is it gonna eat? And that's, for years I've been into the whole liquidity side of things and looking outside of the candles at where the stops are and stuff. And this is where it's taken me, if that makes sense. Oh, that's cool. And see, this guy just added 44 buys here too. So it's like that's not strength, that's weakness. You're buying into weakness. That means you're weak. So the buyers are not in control. So it's like a twofold question. It's on my channel too if you want to see that like weird AI video I made, but I scripted it out just every granular detail about this. And it's a twofold question because again, it doesn't matter if it's a long or if it's a short closing in profit. The thing is it can drift in the direction down more with more buyers. So it's like the buyer, it's like you ask yourself, who is the aggressor and are they rewarded or punished for the aggression? So these blue guys are buyers and are they rewarded or punished? They're being punished. So that tells you who's in control. So I wouldn't be looking for longs, you'd be looking for shorts. And so I was like waiting for these guys to go back on those guys because normally at the bottom I don't see blue. Yesterday I did the opposite though. I did take 100 lot buyer at a key level and long, and it proved to be strong. So it was like it's not always the case, but the majority of the time you're going to see a lot of blue get absorbed to go lower. And then at a true bottom, you'll see a bunch of negative delta hit. You'll see a lot of sellers. And that's basically like whatever target they're aiming at. Let's say there's like a 300 lot hedge fund. You'll see like it stabbed down and like hit like 400 in sell side. And then you'll be like, and then immediately after that, it reverses. Like, and so it's like it hit whatever target it was aiming at and then it's done. No, just I want the momentum on my side so that I don't have to sit in drawdown. So now it's a free trade. Like my stop is trailing at 21 ticks in profit. So it's like even if I lose the theory, I win, because I could telegraph at least a momentum of 100 ticks. You do that enough times and you do that enough times, you're just like, oh, I'm at payout. So even if it bounces off this buyer that I circled at 740, it's like, I don't care. I won. I peeled one off and my runner's in profit. So yeah. And then there's times it'll run and you'll get like 200 ticks on the runner and you'll be like, okay, I didn't expect that. I don't expect anything. I just try to get like, not even guess, but through experience, educated guess based off of all this like lining up of the stars, you know, okay, check. There's liquidity below, more below than above. There's potential buyer absorption, check. And I'm like making these checks in my mind. And I'm like, okay, it's a previous low swept, but it has a wick and it could go back to recover it. And so I'm like seeing these things that add up to a potential. And it's just that. Yeah, for sure. It's it didn't I literally had a toss open like this for over a year. So it was like a year of staring at this and like seeing what happens when it goes down to these regions and seeing these buyers enter and seeing them get absorbed and then seeing it hit a bunch of sell side in reverse. And so I'm like, okay, I guess you got to wait until it hits a bunch of purple. Oh, I see. But it doesn't always happen that way. So, why did it do it? Why did it bounce off this blue guy? Like, where is that? And then looking at like some key levels and like, okay, was that a key level, a 4 hour close or something? And kind of like, were we near news? Like, and then there's kind of like context that it doesn't always, it's not the end all be all. It's just a facet. So it swept a little bit of the stuff and now it's like kind of drifting up a little bit, but it looks like at any point it's just going to burp down and grab that. So if it's like the on ES, it looks like it's going to burp down to like 59.85 or something and just sweep all of it. And then they call that a sweep. It'll even say that on my screen on Bookmap. It'll be like ES sweep orders 59.85. It's like an automated message or whatever. So when it sweeps somebody, it'll say sweep, and it's basically sweeping the order book. Like, psych. It's like we're going up, not, and then they just like go clear it, and then they immediately come back. So if it comes up to 756, it's gonna hit my runner. So, And then these are contextual guys that should be, they should be something they fade, but they also give flirtations of profit so they don't close prematurely. So they're like, no, we'll pay you. And then they're like, boom. And it's like, it jukes out both sides. But you basically have these kind of like, it just makes it like, rather than just look at the open, high, low close, you have more context inside the candle that gives you some ideas about it, because like most of the stuff is empty space, and then it's those players, those circles I circled, that are the actual like players that are playing right now. But yeah, you're getting this we got the we just had the hourly close, so it's creating some sort of wick on the new hour. And then the new hour, how high of a wick is this going to be? We're coming to 4-hour wick, 4-hour low, 4 hours ago, low wick level. If it rejects this 6-5 volume point of control, then you could have that acceleration to recover this Monday low wick. It doesn't look strong, I'll tell you that. You got a rounded top. Like this whole thing is just round. It's no, it doesn't look like bullish right now because the top is rounded. When you have rounded tops, they're kind of like, it's like establishing resistance to, then the lower resistance is to the downside, you know. Oops. It's looking like this right now, like A, B, C or something like that. So you could be coming back to any level in here. I wasn't expecting much because it's like not, it's before the news too. Like I was just like, I saw what I've seen before, so I just hit the button. It's like I was like, you know, if you see it enough times, you're just like, I don't hesitate. I just like, oh, I don't care what time it is. If it was like 5 minutes before news, I wouldn't have hit the button. But and as we approach the news in 25 minutes, like, you know, either way, it either hits my runner at 756 or keeps going and absorbing these buyers and getting heavy on them. I don't know. But contextually, you don't normally see these buyers adding as it goes lower, and then it's showing that is a sign of weakness historically, from what I've gathered. You know, they're like expecting this to be like a fair value gap bounce or something. Oh, it stopped my runner. Either way. I still think it's gonna, you know, sweep the technically they did a good job at maintaining negative delta in the candles while those guys were buying. So I don't know. It was you know, it was like yesterday I had like 500, and the day before was like 500, and the day before that was like 1700. So it's like it's just like capturing a burst here and there, and that where it's relatively like smooth, you know? Cuz sure, yeah, if you shoot me a DM, I can hook you up with something, but you just yeah, shoot me a DM, and then afterwards I'll give you like a thing. But there's multiple people, you know, and then I was into it on my own for a long time, like beforehand. So like I traded Bitcoin and stuff, and like if I go to Bitcoin, where is that? So on Bitcoin, they had a free indicator that was called liquidation levels, and that's what got me started. and then it had this stuff where it showed like the when people entered, it would have the dot when they entered, and then I would watch these people accumulate more positions on one side, and then it would go slam them, and then they'd accumulate more, and then they go slam them, and I was like, I'm noticing a pattern. More on one side gets hit, and then I started getting these theories about, you know, this tug of war and this Pac-Man of eating the pellets and popping the balloons of these guys or whatever. And then it shows you like, these 100x positions and how much their position is and everything. And so I was into that. And then I started getting into this thing called high block capital, which shows like liquidation levels heat map, like book map, but it's for liquidation levels. And I would see where in the billions people were on like other levels outside this. Yeah, so then I was like into that for a long time, and then that's coming into bookmap and the toss, like, so it wasn't like I was completely out of my league. I was like knowing exactly what all that stuff was. Oh, yeah, they have it. It's and I paid for like a year of high block, and it was pretty good. It was good at telegraphing like a weekly move or something, because you'd see more billions of dollars to liquidate up here than down here, and then it would be that, overall swing. And that one, they have another one that's free called v3.aggr.trade, and it would show you these it shows you like all of the exchanges, and then it would show you like when somebody's liquidated, it has like an animation. And then it would also like show you the liquidations here. So I would, yeah, see these animations for like a buyer entering, like it's 2.2 million, 2.4. Well, yeah, like, so I had this open on one side of my screen, and then I had the other one, the regular chart, and then the high block, and I was just like rocking it out like that. So it's I just got burnt out, and then the people I was in the community with just all faded away, and then we were also doing like futures on the side too. So I was doing both, and just the fact that like futures has so much potential in the short area, like that whole move. How long was I in that? Like I don't even know, like 5 minutes or something from like here to there. It was like, I don't know, 20 points, but it was like $500. So it's like sometimes when Bitcoin was going sideways, it was so boring. It would do that for like weeks. Right. And then NQ is kind of set. So it's like you get used to how many points equals how much money under how many contracts. Like it's not like, you know, a shady Chinese exchange that's unregulated that lets you do 500x or something. But yeah, I mean that was kind of like I had some nice gains from Bitcoin, and it was fun for a time. But then it also like there was a lot of shadiness within the space itself. They had um what is it called? They had like a bunch of like they had, what was that Sam Bankman Fried um FTX. Yeah. You had FTX. You had all of these like just shadiness after shadiness, and then like they had all these like they started getting, I know the exact moment when I lost like faith in the whole space, when I was doing Nasdaq and that, and then everyone was into this thing called like Pepe coin, and it was like pushed by influencers, and I knew some of the influencers, and then I heard they had a Telegram group that they were like all agreeing to buy in early and then like push it, even though it was a complete meme coin with a really crappy white paper, and then everyone still did it anyway. Like they knew there was security risks. Like there was a thing where you could like token scanner where you could scan the security and how safe the code is or whatever, and it was like deemed unsafe, and yet it was still the most popular. And I was like, dude, this is like a low IQ thing I don't want to be a part of. Like, this is so dumb. And then that Pepe coin was where I lost it, because I was just like, it's just people like, Lambo, like egotistical, narcissistic. It was just like, I don't want to be a part of these like type of people. Oh yeah, yeah, where they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They have it inverse because they're hoping it goes down, so they inverted their chart to show it go up when it's going down. So they're into shorting it. So they like you could do that on TradingView. Like I could take this chart and go like this. Wait, where is it? I could invert it where it's like it's going down when it's going up, and it's going up when it's going down. So you could do that to kind of like get your mind out of a bias or whatever. But yeah, I saw that and they're like right. And then you have those like like I could stand when they had certain things like what Shiba Inu and all these like they had certain things, but then they also had like things that were trying to be serious, like Ada, Cardano, like and then you had like right. And then they had like the metaverse, and they had a bunch of these like fake games and things like, and it was like after you've been through a few of those, you're like, wait, all of this is just a lot of like, it's like a wrapper. It's like a Hershey Kiss wrapper that's like wrapped around nothing, and it looks all shiny and full of substance, but it's empty. A lot of it's just emptiness, and it's just like they want you to like get in on their bag so they can sell on you. And then they create these videos like you have the what was that one guy who had his like nice channels, like of course there's BitBoy, and then you had another guy that would make these videos that would talk about these projects and stuff, and it's like, oh, so, and then yeah, it's just a lot of like, it's a lot of like hot air. And it's just like I'm not young, and I'm not like easily impressionable anymore. I'm just like, okay, this is dumb. So even though it's all technically fake, like all money is fake, right? But it's you know, like, why would you pick up bubble gum off the bottom of your shoe? Just like to make a few bucks. Like, I'm not gonna touch it. If it's garbage, it should go in the trash. Like, at least Nasdaq is connected to like things that have supposedly had Security Exchange Commission regulated listings and things like that. Like, they can't doctor it that much, even though it's like highly manipulated anyway. It's still within a framework that's at least um beholden to reality. Okay, so you have a seller that just entered here for 107 at 765. So is that seller thinking it's going to fade from here, or is a long from these like accumulated longs cashing out aggressively at their break even? you never know, but it's all contextual because it's like, there's areas where there's nothing. Like if I go up beforehand, there's a lot of much ado about nothing, so I wouldn't have been interested. It's only when I saw like some other large volume being traded there, then I start to be like, okay, well then now I can use those guys as like context. If you don't have a context to look at, like if you're long biased, you can use that as a punishment measure. If you're looking at them being rewarded, then you can use that as a reward measure. And so you're like, okay, if it goes below 765, I can short it because he's on sides. Or if you're like, oh, well, that's 109 contracts, like he's probably going to get punished here. Like I'll go long and put my stop below him. Like it just gives you like a tighter ability to monitor. Right. I'm very hesitant to give back anything because I know what that triggers in me, so I'd have to be very convinced. Yeah, exactly. And then but like you could just like there's like when I watched it fade those guys, I just entered and then I was thinking to like trail it within like a 4 or 5 point, this circle, So it's like if it does come back and start rewarding those buyers, I'm out. And if I let's say I think it's short, like I'll be like if it goes beneath 765, then I'll short it, and then you short it, and then if it comes back above 765, then your theory was wrong, get out, kind of. Like it gives you ability to have like a tighter stop. Right. And then also if it negates your theory, then it negates your theory. So just like move on. Like, like you don't need to have like wish it like gives you a clear thing to be like, that's where I draw the line kind of thing. So they could be on sides and they could be like those buyers that I circled getting out, in which case, you know, the sellers could still be in control and you could use that guy as a defense zone if it like starts to fade 765. And then like cuz still that resting liquidity is still there. That hasn't changed. So yeah, like my whale just waiting there at the bottom on my screen, like that's still there because the liquidity's still there. Yeah, and that too, like people are closing out positions prior to the news. So and that's why it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter if it was a short that entered there or a long that sold. Like contextually, it's all about where does it go from that guy. There's no way to know who or what they were expecting, just knowing that they're aggressive. Because there's always two parties to every trade. There's always a buyer and a seller. The delta and the thing that it's showing is that there's an aggressor, and if you're so aggressive, why are you being aggressive? Why did you sell there? Why did you sell 114 contracts at 765? Do you want it to go down? Were you worried it's not going to go any higher? Like, you know, are you a long that's worried it's not going higher? Are you a short that thinks it's going to tank? Like, it just shows you to like pique your interest. Like, hey, somebody thought something here. There's another guy that's pretty good, but like first I tried to condense it in like a 10-minute video, and it's like the Outsmart the Markets video 2024 or whatever. I made it like a year ago, but it was like, yeah, I took all of these guys' data and tried to condense it into 10 minutes because it's like there's a lot of things that are like hours long that could be overwhelming at the beginning. So I tried to make it as simple as possible. Like, where's the bid and where's the ask, and what does hitting the bid and hitting the ask mean? And yeah, Yeah, it's on the channel. And then it was when AI was popping off, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this with like a British accent. So it looks kind of like uncanny valley weird, but it like the script was really good. I spent a long time like with footage talking about how volume works and stuff. I spent a long time on it, so hopefully it's worth checking out. But it's like there's a lot of dead space in the candles, and that's the one thing footprints taught me is like there's a lot of like these are like rocks, and then that's what the video goes over. It's like creating turbulence, and the turbulence creates a wake which like goes against the position they're thinking, and then all of the space in between is just happenstance of where they entered. So all these zeros is just like that's emptiness. And then normally you think like a candle is filled with like, you know, like a pipe is filled with water. Like I always thought of it that way, but it's actually a lot of it's just empty. Nothing traded. It just bursts up to a position and bursts down to a position, and then in between is nothing. Exactly. And then I always thought it was like filled with interest in buyers and or sellers or whatever, and that was like what they pushed it up to or whatever. But it's yeah, and it was interesting to watch that it was like when buyers entered, they used that as like a turbulence or something to cause it to go against them. And then when the seller hit, they're like, "Ooh, now time to go up." And you're like, it was like counterintuitive to watch because you're like normally used to thinking that it's the buyers that are pushing it up. But and the thing is, it is the buyer, but it's that whale that's beneath my screen. It's the passive buyer who's like using the stops of the buyers that are getting drawn in like guppies in the middle. And so the guppies in the middle, like, ooh, it's breaking out, time to buy. And then they buy in, and then they generate their stops below. And then the passive player can just like enter off of their stops because they can put a limit order. Because again, there's two parties to every trade. So the aggressive seller sells into a passive buyer. So there's a passive buyer like getting their orders filled off of the stops of the sellers, the buyers up top getting like liquidated in like sells and or like late shorters. Like it's so it's like, yeah, you just look at which side has more, and then it just sometimes they defend it or they get their fill. Like it's like, let's say there's like a bank that needs to fill like 1,000 contracts, and then they just happen to do it. Then they'll just like, all right, well that's good enough, and then they just move out. So they don't always sweep the liquidity before they go out, but they'll sweep like a lot, like a portion of it. We got news in 3 minutes. I'd be mindful of entries here because you'll see how PPI and CPI works. It's like gonna create like a bunch of gobbledygook with nothing in it. It's just all algorithmic, like go sweep both sides and kill everyone. It's like you don't want to be on that end. Like there's been times I got in or I had like a limit order at the top of a range randomly, and then I was like, it came and got me and like paid me one time, and I was like, oh my goodness, like on 2 micros. I did it on 2 micros once, and then I got like a grand on 2 micros. I was like, wait, what? So yeah, CPI and PPI is not is not to be trifled with. So that went back on that, like it went in the favor of that 114 seller, and then somebody added 52 sells at 757. So they're inducing a theory of the sellers getting control here. Two minutes. If you comment on yesterday's video, if we can get it up to 10, I can give away a free Apex account. Oh, nice. One minute. You see how the order book cleared here? There's like nothing now. It was like a cloud prior to that, and now it's just all off. It's like black. They're like, turn them off, guys. So all the, like, there's still resting orders down at 5975, but the rest is like dead. Dead zone. I think you're going to go sweep that. That's coming back. There we go. Oh, just a minute before. Theoretically, but all those resting orders just disappeared now. Oh, snap. It just, it did both. It went up and then down, and then it just hit the wick that. Okay, let's see. So there's a 500 lot at 59.99, like a sell wall that just entered. A lot of times those big players put a sell wall up to, unless it actually hits it, then those become suppression. It's a resistance, like it's above where it's at, so it's a resistance right now until it gets through 6,000 on ES. So that's somebody wanting to sell. They just swept it. Yeah, it's basically flipped this range thus far. But if I go down into this wick, like if you just look at all the contracts, there was 0, 0, 0, 0, like there's nothing in it. It just went down to be sure it swept everything. Oops. And then coming back on that 765 guy, it never went back and rewarded him since that wick. So theoretically, there's no, the sellers are not in control here. So now those orders are back. They were off during the thing and then they came back. So those weren't stops. They were like like people looking to add or something. So now you got these resting orders like 300 up at 6,020. And there's somebody trying to telegraph a spoof to get it pulled up there. We just rejected off of VWAP at 800 also. Like, we just hit shy of a quarter shy of 800. Yeah, NQ doesn't really have enough resting liquidity to use as a telegraph, but it does build some orders. Like now you got a, like what, 30 to 15, 25, you got a bunch up at 875 now. From that, it's from the news, it started to put them up there, so somebody's trying to sell up there. You have a static order that's been there from before at like 685 or something, but more stacked up above. I would say this is bullish because we went and recovered that wick and then we bounced immediately off it. So it went back, theoretically, what I was talking about, to go touch that Monday low wick. We went and recovered the wick, and now we're kind of bullish. The weekly open in the Monday mid and a June 6th volume point of control. Now it's turning some of those sellers into buyers. 300 buy side hit in this candle here. There's another 500 lot now down below looking to support or get an entry on ES. But yeah, I'll be happy to answer. Oh, nice. I'll give you, like, if you watch the 10-minute video and then you still have, and you can process all of that, I can give you some other stuff. It's all about sharing the knowledge. Yeah. What am I gonna play? But like, yeah, I'm basically like, I'm not like greedy because you know, I know one of the things that pisses, like, that gets to me personally as a trader is like when I'm had money and then I give it back. It's like, oh, if I just make back that, you know, if I just get back to wherever I was, and, you know, and then it's all over from there. So it's like, I might just be done for the day unless there's some really low-hanging fruit that presents itself. I mean, this looks like it's going to go up, but I'm okay with it going without me. But yeah, like, that's, yeah, I would rather, oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. X-Men. Well, that's why I was looking for the Monday low to sweep, but it was like being, you know, bipolar about it prior to the news. So, but I was right and wrong at the same time, and that's why I used like ATM strategies, because it would have, like, if I had, you know, conviction, quote unquote, and like had a wide stop, it would have stopped me and then gone in my direction. Whereas like I got some of my theory correct, and then the news did some wonky stuff and then went to my target, and it's like, so it's like, it doesn't always have to go exactly where you have it. It's just like having a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 risk reward, and like knowing when to trim your risk. and it's not even knowing. It's like the more you can automate or like make it where you just have less choices, where you just hit the button and let it do whatever. Yeah, it's gonna go to that resting liquidity at 875. Looks like. We still haven't hit any buy side either, and that's the opposite is true. Like when you go up to when you're at the like top, when you're at a top, you'll see a lot of buyers buying the top, and it's like, what's that about? It's like, well, the shorts got popped and they had to buy as a liquidation. So it's like the same theory applies to the opposite end. Right, like you'll see at an actual top, like you'll see like, you know, hundreds of buyers at the top, and it's like, it's a, you know, it's a passive whale selling into those buyers. So somebody that passively bought the bottom is passively selling on the aggressive buys, which are the shorts that, you know, had to, liquidate and forcibly buy that position at the top. And or a neophyte breakout trader or something. So that's why it's like, right now we're not seeing so much. Like if I zoom into this, you're not really seeing a super large amount. Although the entire candle with that push up there, we just hit about 500 in buy side for aggression. And so down here at the bottom left, I have like the delta that shows how much delta was hit in that entire candle, and so it was aggressively 500 more than, so there's 500 aggressive buyers on that way up. But the market's so bipolar that like having like if you're not flexible, that's the main disadvantage in this space, is like not being able to pivot, or like being dead set on it having to hit this goal or whatever. Like it needs to go here or else. Like that's like being able to flexibly take profit wherever. Like if it looks like it's fatiguing, like all right, I'm fine with this. Right. That's why like I'm playing these games to like get me out of that, because it's like the bias, the daily bias. Like some people swear by it, but you know, it can, like, especially if you're scalping, like all you need is just to be on the right side at the right moment in time, and then cash out. That's it. And then not get greedy and just think you got it all figured out. Because the more you put yourself at the risk, the more you put yourself at risk. So, you know, being hesitant to hit the button. Like, the best thing to say it is like removing the need to make money. Like, if you feel the urge to make money, then you're gonna lose money. It's like really counterintuitive. Like, it should, like when I hit the button, it was like I hit the button because I've seen it before. It wasn't like I was like, I need to make this goal because reasons. It's like, oh no, it's doing the thing before news, but it's doing the thing that I've seen happen before, so I'm gonna just hit the button because that's what I do. And then if it doesn't work, just trusting that it's gonna, that it's gonna do the next time. Like yesterday, I took 2 losses before the 3rd win, and then the win paid for all the losses, so that's what it's all about. That's good. Yeah.
Thumbs up, soldier. Ready. Fight. Shield slash attack. Shield slash. Charging star.
Yeah, it's
Shield slash. Shield slash.
whatever removes the feeling, like if you're able to not feel the loss, like where it clouds your judgment, you know, it should be whatever makes you comfortable. Like there's no one size fits all. It's all about like experience and what it induces in the individual. You know, like I can't do the level at which TO does, but he does it with like the smile, like with laughter and stuff. So it's like, hey man, different people can handle different levels of risk. Yeah, that's impressive. Okay, let's zoom in on this so you can at least see it. So there's 68 and 64. And then there's a thing called the delta slingshot where it like goes in a direction and pulls back into the opposite side to get fuel to go continue. And then that's theoretically punishing the late people and stop like inducing the other side to dollar cost average at a loss, and then they punish them. So it's like you'll see a lot of sell side hit in a pullback, and then that will pull back on those sellers to continue to the upside, and it's like that's what you call like a delta slingshot. And there's like all these terms that yeah. There, so like right now it's trending up, so you'd see it theoretically go down and hit a bunch of sellers, and then that's gonna create some sellers aggressively because it's gonna stop out some minis buyers, and then or get people that are down below trapped to add. And then it goes and continues to the upside and punishes them. It's all about aggression, so your market closing. If your market close, that appears as a delta. It's all about limit versus market. And the people that are marketing in are generally less patient because they're in a rush, right? Because you're taking whatever's offered, right? So if you're like right now there's 76 buyers and 48 buyers, and there's a 99 buyer at 831. So somebody aggressively bought 99 contracts at 831. Now are they and then another 45 just added at 833. So are they going to, like, that looks like it could be buyer absorption because they haven't hit any sellers yet. So they could pull back a little bit more into some sellers. There's a volume imbalance down here, so it could go back into the sellers a little bit. And then if it hits a sell stop of a buyer or induces a seller to add that's trapped from down here, then you could see that as like a delta slingshot or whatever. But I wouldn't take these buyers as strength. For me personally, it's like I don't buy on buyers. I buy on the purple, but if they're aggressively buying 99 contracts and they're on sides, they're moving it. So it's just seeing it through over and over again, and then there's like, you know, you'll find something that like you've seen again and again that you're like, this is the thing that I've been waiting for, kind of. For me, it's like I'll know it when I see it, and then I'll be like, okay, it's hitting the sellers now. But coming back on that 765 seller after the news drop, that wick that burst down to the Monday low and came back on that seller, had I not already been in a trade, like if I joined the party 10, 15 minutes later, that would have been a cool inflection point to see that seller punished. It's just also like you tell yourself a narrative. Like I was telling it was going to go sweep the Monday lows, and it did. But if you were looking for a short and you couldn't take the short, then there's like a feeling that it can give you. So it's like, you know, convincing yourself again, like how to pivot and then just accept that, okay, it went above 765 and it's punishing the guy. I'm now switching long. And that's what it's also helped me do, is just like let go of the down idea and take the up one, or let go of the up one and take the down one.
Choose your alter ego.
Yeah, and people have, you know, their stops relatively above the highs and the lows, so they just go and sweep the highs and the lows. It's that simple. And then if it bounced off of a thing creating a wick, then it's likely to, because it gave somebody an entry with low risk, that they go back and trade fairly there, because it's like the market wants to seek balance. So there's like this balance aspect to it, that it wants to go back to those imbalances, and that's what those volume imbalances Theo is always talking about. It's just like it moves aggressively, so it leaves like a gap or whatever. So here it's pulling back on that buyer I was talking about, so it's like, it's kind of like giving that theory of like going back into some sell side and giving some buyer absorption for now. Ultimately, I'd be looking for like a pullback into a level like that volume imbalance, and then seeing some sell side hit, and then that would be your slingshot opportunity. What's up, Tio? In the house. How's the Switch 2? You playing anything cool? Breath of the Wild?
Continue. Choose your alter ego.
He's appearing in a couple games. I saw there's like a Bond game and he's gonna make a guest appearance at the casino table or something. Yeah.
Thumbs up, soldier. Ready. Fight. Shield slash.
For what game? Hitman. Oh yeah. My wife is like she said that they're having Splatoon on it, so her interest she just is obsessed with Splatoon and playing with her friends. But so she's like, I'm not interested until they have Splatoon, and then they apparently announced it. So she's like, can I get Switch 2 now? I'm like fine. I said she could get it on release. I was like, why don't you want it? It's like I can't with the amount of like stuff that I buy. It's like I'm like, you buy whatever you want. I don't care. At least she asks though. I can respect a chick that doesn't just assume. Hey, look at you. Useless spending is the name of it. I would say it's not a wrong assessment. And then it's probably most of the guys' stuff is so they can impress girls, like getting cars and stuff. I like your... Well, there's like for example, in this town that I live in Japan, like they had a bubble economy, right, in the 90s. So there's this area which used to be super popular, but it's like a ghost town now. And then all the buildings and stuff is still there, but there's no business that's willing to like put their stuff there. And it's like, you know, they have an aging population. They have like one of the oldest, you know, like an inverted pyramid of old people, you know. And it's like, you know, I think with all the AI automation and stuff, like it's like we're automatically as a society kind of keeping things in the framework. Like you're gonna have 40% of jobs go to AI over the next 20 years. So if you have 40% less people too, then there you go. It's like an even trade-off. But then you're gonna have all this weird, like, you know, kind of dead parts of town that nobody actually uses anymore. And you're just like, oh, that's when the boomers made that stupid like zone for their boutiques and stuff that nobody goes to anymore, because who needs a boutique when you can buy it on Amazon? they had to first remove the need for power and like material needs by having the replicator and stuff. So they had to make food, hunger, energy, and material scarcity like basically non-existent, like creating abundance. So there's like a few. Right, like it's a MacGuffin that's like kind of not realistic at this time, but eventually we'll get material. Like I think AI is gonna give make breakthroughs with material science, where you're gonna have like lighter, more durable things than steel for the fraction of the cost of steel, and then you'll have like superconductive, flexible, whatever, fire resistant, heat resistant materials that they'll be able to make combinations of materials that we can't even imagine. Like they'll be seeing lattice structures and stuff on an atomic level that will be like, what are you talking about? And then the AI will have that figured out. So they're going to make it cheap. Like, you have things like aerogel that NASA has made you could take a blowtorch to it and you won't feel it on the other side of an inch of material. So it absorbs all the heat. And then it's like, how we make that was made by humans, but eventually you're going to have stuff like that that's made by AI that you're like, how did they come up with this? It's like magic. And it literally is. Like, we have stuff that's made by NASA called nitinol, which is nickel and titanium, and it has a memory. It remembers its position before. So if you bend it and you like let go, it will go back to its original position. Which metal? One of the classifications of metal is to have, it's supposed to be malleable and not like it's supposed to be plastic. Like it doesn't have flexibility or elasticity. That's the word. But this has elasticity and can go back, and it remembers its position. Like, what is that about? And so you're gonna have weird stuff like that, and it's just gonna become cheaper and cheaper. Like a calculator was, $200 in the 70s, and now you can get it at a dollar store. It's gonna be like that. So money is just irrelevant. We don't have too many stupid people, so that like all those protesters and stuff. Like I don't have hope for humanity when I see stuff like that. So I agree with you on that front. Like that's the next generation, which like they're trying to make their own like they can stand for that, defend criminals. Yeah, that's why they put the what do you call it? And then those governors and stuff are kind of like playing with fire. They wanna let stuff like they wanna like have kindle there that like sets off like a powder technique, so they can do exactly what they're doing. It's just like, it's your fault. You caused the fires to those cars by instigating it or whatever. It's like, it's like a projection technique, you know, where they scapegoat and they burn effigies and they put all the ill will to that effigy so they don't have to feel it themselves. Because their lives are miserable. And that's the sin. Delivered package. That's what she said. Does Caveman pop into the Discord at times? I haven't seen him in a while. Since like April. I don't think so. I think life just gets busy. I thought that was Dave on vacation, but talking about Caveman renaming to like Creole. I see you commenting. Yeah. Only keep yes, like liquidity levels to speak that out. Really got him. Well, it all has to do with the sizing and with how big your stop will be. Like, if you have three micros and a 100 tick stop, that's $150, right? And then if you're on two minis, and it's 100 ticks, like that, or sorry, three minis, then that's, add an extra zero, that's 1,500. So it depends on how risky and what size account. It's like, it's not like what should it be? It's like what are you willing to lose when you hit the button? That's what should be. You know. Like your last trade yesterday, you called it, and it was just like it pulled back and then stopped you and went in your direction, but it went in your direction pretty massively. So if you just had like either slightly less cons, or you were doing it like with a bigger stop within that consolidation that you're looking at, like that would have been, that was like the theory was you were correct. It was just like, yeah, it was like 20 cons or whatever, so it was like, yeah, a little too much to hold on to for that long. And it basically just does like side, like in the trend day, like when AI was a thing like 2 years ago, like back at 15,000, like from 14,000 to 18,000, basically, like you just take any pullback and it's like 100 points up. There was none of the shenanigans, really. It was just like AC into a D wave. Everything was like, yeah, I mean, you said it best, like, if you're doing if you're doing the oil, like oil does this, is pretty honorable to resistance and support. It's like, looks like this is just my cursory glance. Tenants. Snap. Sunglass Rex, what does that mean? A recommendation, you mean? if you're looking for like eye protection, I have some good ones from, what is it called? Eagle Eye. They're developed by NASA, and it's like it makes the yellows brighter, but it blocks all the harmful blues and stuff. Eagle Eye. They have some pilot glasses that are pretty good. Aerospace tech meets style innovation. Not bad for the price and what you get. Like it literally is brighter with them on. Like I've tried all these different sunglasses, and it's they make it too dark, but they keep the brightness. It's used for pilots and NASA and stuff. Reasonable. The gaming glasses I got are unreasonable, so I'm not gonna even say. Eagle Eyes. If you just type in Google Eagle Eyes, you should find it. But you need sunglasses, Eagle Eyes sunglasses. It says night driving glasses, and they got all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, I got the aviator ones that are like, but they talk about it in their thing that says like it blocks the most UVB while at the same time keeping the yellows bright. Fun fact, the Kestrel can see UV light. They have cones for UV. And the reason being they can see the UV reflected off of mouse piss. So they can see the hot spots where the mouse are congregating based off the UV reflecting off their piss. Yeah. I was testing Kestrels to see if they could see mouse piss. Like, sounds great. You want potatoes with your chicken? I got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. It happens here. My wife cooks me some nice food. Yep. Squirrel bones glow under UV lights. Interesting. I did a science experiment with kids where they dissect owl pellets and get to see what the owl ate. That's some gross ass stuff, but it's important to know the circle of life. Well, they ate birds too and shrews. Like, you have to see what type of skull it is to be able to know what that actually was. Sometimes there's multiple in one pellet. They don't actually poop it out. They like cough it up like a big hairball. That's what the pellet is. They digest all the meat and then cough out the hair and the bones like. Yeah, owls will take out anything. They'll eat other birds. They even have been known to eat cats. They're apex predators for a reason. They don't play around. That's hilarious. You're like, it's going up. There's here's one I'll share where there's this hawk sleeping. The reason why birds don't fly at night is they can't see, right? So they stay close to the tree. But check this out. The hawk is gonna get taken out by the owl. And he's like, his partner's like, where'd he go? You can see the eyes glowing as he comes up on him, like, see ya. Don't mind me. The hawks are only good at daytime. The owls are good at night. Gotta sleep sometimes. 2 minutes. Do 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 do. We're break even on the session. The delta has resolved itself. The delta has resolved itself. Okay. And nearly open and we're off. We hit the volume imbalance on the 1,000 tick and just took off. Damn. Gina. Yes, started pulling back a little bit. And Q still holding. Nice. Simple is good. Never gonna give you up. I let go. Wasn't his name Gold Member in Austin Powers? Huh. Still not really seeing much of anything but barcoding at this time. Like, nice. Yeah, I'm not looking at YM. Why am I not? Why am I not looking at YM? Oh, wow. It's a nice dumperoo off the Monday mid. Back into sell side. The market maker's in the toilet. It's like, hold up, go sideways. All right, so there was that volume imbalance. Decent push. Hit about 200 in sell side there and then bounce right off it at the volume point of control. Could be coming back to settlement at 887. The shadow. Yeah, you're creating like a channel, like a regression trend. You're hitting the top of that channel. ES has some resting orders at 6,021 and 6,025 and 6,030, more above than below at this time. Slingshot. got 85 at that 890-ish. And yeah. $42. He had a 211 seller at 873. Nice. Booyah. You're getting paid. Yeah, it swept that first range. Yeah, there's a 500 suppressor adding, or like putting a sell wall up at 6,021, 573 contracts, trying to push it down. See, oh, they removed it just now. Hmm? Nice. Tio in the house, killing it. 178 buyer at 878. Yeah, it was fatiguing. That's the way to do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Agreed. 873 has that 200 lot. If it comes above 873, that could be rewarding these buyers again. You got a 82 lot at 890 on NQ. We're going to go sweep that 890, the 178 buyer at 878. Now back at break even. Yeah. Yeah, I I took that second long off of the 211 getting punished at 873. I'm just going to move my stop to break even here manually because I'm already up for the day. So peeling off at 893 if we go up to that point. We just hit a 95 lot buyer at 887. It's probably going to pull back now. What? Huh. The settlement theory of going back to settlement, we're back at settlement now, so I'm just expecting just a slight push above it, and then I can peel one off there. 93. Getting a 110 lot buyer hit up at 887. They're stopping out somebody. I'm up 50 ticks, but my stops at break even because I don't want to give back anything. No, it's pulling back. It's gonna stop me out. Yep, stopped break even. It was what it was. Well, we got the momentum in the moment enough to not be in any drawdown, so success in my book. If I only took the 50 ticks, I was on a 70 tick ATM, so that was my problem. Anyway, pulling back on 300 sell side here, so that could have been a trap for the longs. Rejection off settlement at 887. Also, Monday's high. I think that's it for me, though. I'm not going to take 3. I was good on 2 out of 2. That's good enough. Yes. Boom shakalaka boom. Oh wow. Gold. Gold must have been going up for a while. Let's see. Hold up. So it's been going up, what, since? Yeah, NQ is by comparison is is uh very difficult. It looks like if I look at CL like crude, I'm just like it does a double bottom and it's like boom and then it pulls back and it continues. It's like okay. I mean, technically pre-market you had a lot of shenanigans, but so we rejected off the Monday high. Rejection off the 887. Damn. Should. How much should, if a should, would, should. We punish in Q. So you had that, it hit that 122 and rejected right off that. That was settlement. It's Thursday, so Thursday's the midweek reversal day by historical standards, anyway. Although we've been kind of sideways for a week, we're just in this larger range. We're essentially here for what? It's an entire day. Essentially a week. Oh yeah. More more cushion for the pushing. looks like we could be sweeping down for a little wave down more. No, no contracts that are interesting me. The new 60/20. She's doing that. She's the mascot for all the Karens. And for all and and for all the like you know, the damaged goods for damaged goods. Yeah, this is I don't know. I'm just not seeing anything convincing for me, but like I wish I had more of a history with oil and all that stuff so I could feel confident enough to see know what I was looking at. I would have taken it, but I just like I'm a creature of habit, so that's important. That's true. It is kind of messy on gold. Wow, that was a nice grab. Another 200 seller added at 896. If it comes back on these 222 sellers, you could see another pop up into the 900s. Yeah. I mean, it's eventually moved. We're basically just right around the settlement. So we just came right back to where we where we settled yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's just drifting. Yeah. Yeah. Catch you tomorrow. It's Run for Profit tomorrow. Run for Profit Friday. Booyah. $170 seller entering at 905. With that 222 at 896, the sellers aren't really doing much, but somebody's peeling off a long, most likely. Just like. And they swept those 910 resting orders. Next batch at 935. We got anything up there? Came to the 20 points above the Monday high. Previous week high at 935. Basically held Monday's high and then went up from there. We're going for the gold, no stopping for anything. Punishing these sellers that I circled here. Yeah, the slingshot looks like it's going up. Woke, you said it best. I mean, when you get that purple and they're not in control, that just becomes the fuel for turning them into buy side up above. You created 3 volume imbalances on 1,000 tick on the way up. I was so tempted to hit the button for long a third time, but I was just like, nah, man. It would have been up massively, but it's just like, it's slow and steady wins the race. I'm not really like, I don't need to see big numbers every day. $500 a day ain't bad. Not at all. It's ironic that I did it in the first like 5 minutes of streaming, though. If you want to throw a comment on yesterday's video and we can get up to like 10 viewers or something, I can give like another 250K Apex away. Can we do it? Can we do it? I'll go get some coffee and come back. Okay. Hi, welcome back. Let's see. I asked them if I could get some like codes. Yeah, basically. I mean, but that's the that's the way to do it, honestly. Like I know myself, like if I got impatient and took another trade and gave it back, it would like trigger me to like try to get it back, and then I would be even more impatient. It's like impatience is not a good virtue in this game. So, but I've spent like thousands for Apex, and I've also made thousands with Apex. So they've given me like a shirt and for payouts and stuff like that. So I'm not just like a regular dude, I guess. Maybe I don't think anyone can do it. That's why they gave me that custom code or whatever. I can't speak for how they operate though. I could show you the shirt if you want to see it. Let me go get it real quick. Yeah, so that's if you like make enough, I guess, like similar to like top steps or whatever. Looks like we're going to the previous week high as the next key level at 934. We bounced off the 20 points above the previous Monday high, turning it into support. Let's go see how many comments we have on yesterday's video. We're approaching the 10 concurrent viewers. Let's see, 23 hours ago. Yeah, that sounds about right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7. That's funny. The whole, like, what the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, but that's Tuck Party twice. So 7. If we could get 3 more comments on yesterday's video, I can do another giveaway for Apex comment selector for a free eval. Do remove the timestamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Still need 3 more. I mean, you just have to go to that, make a comment here. We're hitting the volume imbalance. It's quite a pullback. 310 sell side hit here. Coming back to that 171 sell guy at 905. Instant push back off of that guy. ES has 272 contracts up at 6,040. What do you do? Oh no, you're talking Vasquez. There are so many artifacts on the screen. Transparencies. What do you mean artifacts? What does that mean? Like artifacts from an archaeology dig or something? Like Indiana Jones artifacts, like from the Temple of Doom? You have chosen wisely. Boom, getting a bounce off the volume imbalance. Like green flashes and red flashes. Oh, yeah, on my account thing I do that just so in case somebody wants to like screenshot it as their own, there's ways to make it so that it's like noticeably mine, you know? You know what I mean? So I made it glitchy. But on my screen up here, like if I pull this around, you know, it's normal, right? On my other wide screen, no, it's not letting me bring it back. Go back to the other screen. There you go. I have two wide screens, so that's yeah. I just put that overlay on top. Because I've seen it all, man. Like people will take your payouts and say it's their payout and stuff like that. It's also retro, so I'm trying to make it like retro, you know, like I got some other retro effects like here. You got these like smoke here and then whoa. I got all sorts of different modes. Anyway, let's see. Can we get to the 3 more comments? I want to give away another count. Come on, guys. You don't want a free count? Oh, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nice. All right. So we got it. Congrats. So we're going to throw this in here and then we'll give it another few minutes, just like yesterday. So we will give it about, let's say, 3 minutes. T minus 3 minutes for a free eval giveaway for Apex. If you want a free eval, I recommend the 250K because you can get used to trading minis. So we're holding the super trend on the 30-second, so we're still kind of looking to sweep this like previous week high. This previous week high zone. At the bare minimum, still puts us in a state where we're not above Wednesday's high, but still That's the next target. Get above last week's high. Two more minutes. Getting a manipulation sequence here on the 30 seconds, manipulating. Doom 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 doom. Let's try to wake up the market. Here we go. One more minute. All right. So let's see who's going to be the winner today. All right, drum roll. Bing. Anything goes. Continue. 14 comments. Loaded 12 comments, original ones. The others were duplicates. Here we go. 1 in 12 chance. Pick a winner. Trader dude again? What? 2 days in a row. Trader dude's got the luck on his side today. I don't know. It's up to him. If he wants to take it, he can take it. If he wants to give it to someone else, he can give it to someone else. I'm not going to tell him he's disqualified. He can be it's up to him. Trader dude can call it himself. The universe is smarter than us. Okay. Fair enough. So after the it might have been he was did he do multiple comments? Let's figure out how this works. I don't make these sites, so I don't know. So let's see. Maybe it has like first come, first serve, gets a higher weight or something? No, because he just said it there 1 hour ago, so it doesn't matter. It is true RNG. True RNG. All right, well, we'll do it again. If we can do it Friday, I want to do it 3 days in a row. That'd be cool. Let's do it tomorrow, guys. So make sure to comment after this video finishes, and then you'll already be entered. And then you don't need to worry about it. And then I'll pick you tomorrow. And then, yeah, hit the like and all that fun stuff if you could. So congrats to Trader Dude, second day in a row for that giveaway. So, yeah, we will contact after the thing. Looks like we're coming up to that previous week high now, bouncing up, resting liquidity at 935. They're going to sweep it. Let's go. Sweep, 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 sweep. Here, let's get this little whale up here to show it wants to get filled. Go get it. Go get it. We're at the 30-minute mark, too, so there it goes. Well, is it prematurely? Boom, 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 boom. For me, there's not really much volume in here, so it's not my style of trade. But The hit of the volume imbalance was pretty nice, hitting that POI at 905 and then bouncing off it. The volume point of control is moving alongside this as it goes up. It's creating a new node up here. We'll give it a few minutes, see if it hits it. If not, then we're just going to call it because it's consolidating here. It's a tease. And ES also has like 300 contracts up at 6,045. Got another 259 at 6,050, although that looks like a sell wall, like a wall, defensive wall. Oh, jittering off of this 50 lot. Off the comma bounce. Super trend is holding. Gotta come back above this trend knot for the trend to continue. Boom. Here we go. Let's go. Pull up to that 935. Boom! And hit. That was nice. Let's see how many that hits. So you can see how it's hitting all this blue as it goes up, and those are like liquidated shorts. 318 in that 2K candle there, and then more buyers hitting. Previous day VWAP at 947. Although that would be where you just like be like, I'm okay with it, with that level of profit. Call it a day there. That's as good enough a read as you can get, you can ask for right there. A little bit of jitters, but went in the favor. Alright guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. I have some work to do on Illustrator, so I will catch you tomorrow. Congrats again to Trader Dude.